Good morning!
Good morning!
Welcome to Fort Fun Friday Facts, better known as...
That was a really weird morning. I don't know where that voice came from.
Wow, we are matchy today.
Oh, we are? Ooh.
Yeah. Mark and Brandy Aspinall, Living Colorado Elite Team with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Colorado Real Estate, bringing you all the important local historical news, happenings, real estate events, and just oddities around the world.
Yes.
That was a pretty good intro.
Really good
Now we just
intro.
need to figure out how to transfer that cleanly into...
Do you know we almost say that every single week?
Every single week. You think
That's
we
like
would
our
actually
thing.
take the time and do it beforehand so that we could.
Yeah.
The fun in that.
But what's the fun in actually having a plan?
I don't know.
Well, we have a plan.
We have a plan.
Subject to change. Jinx.
So the first part on that is the Fort Fun section where we bring you history, fun facts, whatever happens to be going on in the northern Colorado area. So
Or in Colorado.
Or in Colorado in general. It's true. We started out very strictly history of Fort Collins, and it's like, let's have some fun.
Yeah, so the fun today about Colorado is, did you know that Colorado has the highest low point of any state?
How is that even possible?
Yeah, it's because we're such high in elevation that our lowest point is higher than any other states.
Is our low point higher than any other state's high point? Or what does that look like?
It's just the lowest
high point.
According to
Don't ask me for details.
According to this
I'm just gonna repeat.
article, on the highest low point, and on that note, Colorado also has the largest flat-topped mountain.
Well,
in
what
the world.
is the highest low point? I need to know.
It says that highest low point in the state, the point is 3,317 feet above sea level. It's where the, do you want to read that word?
Arikari?
Arikari River flows out of Yuma County and from Colorado into the Cheyenne County in Kansas. That is where that low point is. It's 3,317 feet.
That's interesting because it makes sense to be on that side of the state. What's funny is that coincidentally coincides with Kansas's highest point.
Really?
No, not really, but I'm just assuming.
Oh.
Our lowest point is going to be Kansas's highest point.
That's what. So that's a good way to put it.
And it's it's maybe a quick drop and then a very flat the rest across the state. Sorry, Kansas, you're flat. You're boring.
In Weld County, I've been told that Bridle Ridge, there's Bridle Ridge State, like that complex of homes, is the highest point in Weld County, but I do not know what that is. I do not have the number for what that high point is. But it's the highest point in Weld County.
For us Coloradans, it's slightly disappointing, but it does provide some beautiful views of the mountains. Mm-hmm. That is true.
Beautiful homes, great area. Okay, and then moving on to the largest flat-top mountain in the world, Grand Mesa, located in western Colorado, has a 500-mile area of flatland.
Whew!
Yeah. So
that's huge.
Yes. So it has the largest flat-top mountain.
Huh.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There is some Colorado facts for you to investigate on your own, to double-check to make sure they're correct, because this article,
And for those of you not in Colorado, because I'm sure we have fans all around the world watching, one of the funniest and kind of no-duh comments was made to us a few months ago. We were out showing some buyers from out of state, some different properties up here in northern Colorado. And they kind of paused at one point and looked at us and like, it's so flat. And I never thought about that. It's like I kind of paused and looked at him and was like, yeah, and the mountains are right there. Like, they're right there. So yes, like right here is flat. in northern,
ahead.
especially northern Colorado. Like a lot of, Fort Collins, Loveland, Windsor, a lot of the area for the most part is flat, but the mountains are right there. Like they're right there. But apparently they were expecting to be more like in the mountains.
Like in the mountains, which a lot of out-of-state folks have that perception that Colorado is all mountainous, where we have a lot of different landscape, a lot of different areas. The eastern part of Colorado, where a lot of our ranchers, farmers, that's very flat, headed into some of the other states. When you get here in Fort Collins, we're what technically is called, we're in the foothills. So you're going to see a lot of more hills. You're going to see some mountains, and then just past that, you see all the mountain peaks of the Colorado Rockies. So it's a beautiful view when you're driving, and it's only really 45 minutes if you want to get into more of the mountain-esque. And then
20 minutes to Horsetooth.
20 minutes to Horsetooth. And so we get the beautiful view, and we get access to that here.
Yep. The other fun part, and this is kind of bleeding into the real estate news of Ford Fun Friday Facts, is people that come in from out of state that want to buy in the mountains. And then, their idea, especially depending on where they're thinking mountain-wise, they've visited Keystone and Breckenridge and Vail, and they're thinking that of the mountains, and so they come to northern Colorado. It's like, I want to be in the mountains. Okay, jump in. You're not driving yourself, because some of those mountain roads up here are definitely four-wheel drive only.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that surprised a lot of people of like, we're going to go look at this home that's on, well, let's say 5-6 acres, but the only usable space is the 3,000 square feet that the house is sitting on. So
if you want to have more conversations around purchasing or moving to a mountain area, the other misconception is that it is super green and full of humidity. And we here in Colorado are a high desert area.
I will say we're generally more green here, Fort Collins, northern Colorado area, than I feel like Denver.
And or up towards, sometimes up in the mountains, you get a very high desert feel. It's not, I would say Arizona desert, but it has that,
No, not at all.
It has a lot of the evergreen trees that last. That's another thing. If you need some gardening tips on what plants to put in, don't call us. We'll connect you with
No, we'll give you the number to the nursery by us. You ask them all of your questions. Don't assume we know anything.
When we don't know something, we don't know it, and so we'll align you with the professional who does, and that is not us when it comes to plants and what lasts. We just put in a plant for our little girl, a little flower plant, and the bunnies ate it.
Fucking bunnies, they're adorable, but I want to punch them in the face right now.
They ate it. She was devastated. So now we have to go get another one that hopefully is
bunny proof,
bunny resistant.
Why won't it eat my weeds that I can't get rid of? Stinking A. Well, another big thing in northern Colorado that a lot of people don't realize is horse property. We have horse properties all over the place in northern Colorado, from just north of Fort Collins up into Wellington, way out east. And in fact, we have coming soon right now a horse property in Lakewood. Yes, right in the middle of the city, there is a great little horse property, about an acre, with a barn and some stalls and arena. And I didn't even mean to talk about this, but, it just came up. So horse properties is another.
Yeah. And sometimes they're hidden, like this one that's coming up. It's like this hidden gem. It's really quiet, really protected. You don't even really know it's there. And then you can walk up the hill and there's a shopping complex. So it's unique when it comes to horse properties here in Colorado.
So for 15 years, I lived in Denver. So Brandy and I met, we've 16 years now we're going on. So for the first 5 years, moved to Denver. We met down there. And I lived within probably 10 to 15 minutes of where this horse property is for most of the time that I lived in the Denver area. And I always wondered what was down that street, and I never ventured down there, but it really is. It's tucked away, it's hidden, lots of trees, protecting it from not just the sun and the heat, but also from the noise of being in the city. And it's really one of those unique, remarkable properties. So
Yeah. And so
I should probably say 7722 West First Place.com. So it's 7722 West First Place in Lakewood. Check it out.
yeah.
Sorry, where are you going with that?
No. West First Place, though, you have to do the W and then the number 1, ST, and then place.com.
It's true.
So if you really want to get to the actual website.
To me, it's a no-brainer. To me, if someone tells me 7722 West First Street, or West First Place, that's exactly what I'm typing in. But
every time we tell that to someone else, they type out first or they type
to
out
be fair,
West.
that was just your mom.
Oh, Dad did it too.
Okay. So to be fair, that was just your parents. Tell me if I'm crazy. Tell me if I'm wrong. All
We'll be
right.
posting that later. All right.
Moving on, and
Yeah.
coincidentally enough, we decided to look up what's the most expensive listing on the market right now in Larimer County. Well, it happens to be another horse property up here in Fort Collins. This one, they're asking $6.725 million, and it is a 56,000 square foot log cabin home. And it really is a true log cabin home inside and out in the construction. It is absolutely remarkable exterior and stunning from the outside. The funny thing of this, and for you horse people, you'll get it, it's completely opposite of what you normally think of a horse property for those people that are actually into horses. It's got this massive house in this itty bitty 4-horse barn. It's beautiful. It's a nice
beautiful.
barn.
It's a nice barn. It's just usually
you see the huge barn, probably a huge shop,
and a nice little house.
a tiny little house. And sometimes a manufactured home, mobile home, sometimes a nice little ranch, but it's usually dwarfed in comparison to the size of the barn.
And that's usually in northern Colorado. There's other
That's normal.
equestrian properties that have both.
Yeah, you get
But
into
they're-
100 jumpers, and those people are a whole
Yeah,
different
but
breed.
those prices are going to go up to 8 to 10 million in different areas of Colorado. So if you're looking at horse properties and what they are and what they're not, give us a call. Let us know if you are interested in them or the equestrian type of property. It's quite a vast range of different amenities versus, now there's differences between a property that can have a horse on it or an actual horse property. So before we get into all those details, we wanted to bring you, and did you research it? We wanted to bring you the lowest priced home in Larimer County, but usually
Oh, I found it.
you did.
It's actually a little higher than I thought, but I did just check Larimer County. I bet if I looked in Weld as well, it'd probably be a little bit lower. It is up in Red Feather Lakes, and it is a 500 square foot cabin, 1 bed, 0 baths, for $130,000, sitting on 0.11 acres.
Yeah. So there you go. You've now had the highest and the lowest in Larimer County as of this morning at, what time is it? I don't even know.
1040.
10:40
There you go.
on June 28th. Who knows? In about 5 seconds, another one could go active and it changes all of that. But
all that.
as of that time that we just gave it to you, there you go. So when it comes to houses, you definitely don't want to have them on, or even if you're buying land, you need to be able to figure out what should be on there, if you can what the ground soil's like. Does it have taps for water and electrical? And sometimes that doesn't work out. And so moving into some fun news, I think I don't know how to do this transition from this. So I'm waiting for Mark to jump in and bail me out.
I thought you were going somewhere.
All right. I'm trying to.
You were trying to find a transition.
I'm trying to find a transition. He's not helping me. He's just sitting here laughing. This is something that I'm supposed to come up with and get no help from him. So I'm going on a little rant. And that rant can last for a very long time.
And it's going to keep going if you don't stop because you don't leave any space for me to jump in. To the odd news, we're bringing you the weird, the unusual, hopefully the funny, around the world. This week we bring you an animal-free and a record-breaking free edition.
Ooh.
I know, shocker.
Ooh.
There was one story that was both, and I almost brought it in, but I decided not to. I didn't want to ruin our...
Let's get to it. I'm excited.
What do you want first? Sports, grammar, or food?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Or are you asking the audience?
No, I'm asking you.
Of just us.
It's the audience of us, yes. Because nobody else is on right now.
Are you asking you yourself?
I'm asking you, yourself, and you.
I want it in that order. Whatever order you just gave it to me in.
All right, so we're going to sports. Going to Illinois. Alton, Illinois. A giant sinkhole appeared in the middle of a soccer complex that was built over a limestone mine that was operating in southern Illinois years ago.
Well.
Yeah, the mine was 100 and... this says 100 feet. The other one I read was 150 feet deep and ended up collapsing, causing a sinkhole on the soccer fields above. The sinkhole was estimated to be at least 100 feet wide and up to 50 feet deep.
Wow, no players were on it when
Luckily,
this happened?
no players,
Okay,
which is surprising. It happened at 8:30 in the morning, but it was on a Wednesday. So had that been 8:30 on a Saturday,
yeah.
there could have been it could have been bad news.
Could have been bad news.
Where is the
And this
picture?
goes back to the point of when you're building a home or you're building a facility, make sure you know what kind of land. See, there's a good transition.
It was. You just kept going on it. Yeah, so I couldn't. I couldn't quite. But the collapse was reported to the Federal Mine Safety and Health Admission as required.
Wow.
And spokesman came out saying, "Oh, here it is. The limestone mine is located about 170 feet below the ground."
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow, and it runs under a city park too?
yep.
Okay, wow.
So major repairs there. Crazy weird news. We'll put the link on. This one came from Associated Press. Also is on our UPI.com that I so frequently pull from. But UPI actually had a little bit better picture, and it is just a massive, massive sinkhole. It's
wow.
kind of surprising. So yeah, there you go. So on to, you know what? I'm going to stay with the Associated Press. On to the food category.
Ooh, food.
So this
Which you
one,
can buy at sporting events.
yes, you can. You can. This one holds historical importance as it occurs around the residence of former President George Washington
Wow.
at Mount Vernon. They were doing some repairs. There was some structural work needed, so they went down low to do some structural repairs, and they found...
What is that?
George Washington may have never cut down the cherry tree, the Associated Press starts. However, he did pack it away quite well, as they found the best preserved containers of fruit that they have ever seen. Basically, what they're saying is finding what is essentially fresh fruit 250 years later is pretty spectacular. Really, all the right things have to fall into place. I'm trying to find where they have the number of bottles that they pulled. But they pulled a number of bottles, including those that had cherries packed away, that which was cherries, currant, and what was the other fruit?
I just said berries, but that's...
Gooseberries. Gooseberries, currant, and cherries. And they are, there we go. They are pulling them in for testing, doing the DNA testing, seeing how they are so well preserved for 250 years later.
That's amazing.
Yes, they would be good to eat. They're actually also testing some of the cherry pits that they found in there to see if they would be suitable for planting. So far, none of them seem to be. But it was, we don't know the exact time that these were bottled and buried, but it was at least previous to 1758? No, 1758 is when, let's see, what year was it? Man, of course I can't find it again.
This is really cool.
Let's see. Because they did renovate. Oh, previous to 1775.
Wow.
So actually before we became a country, because there was a huge renovation that was done on the property in 1775, which is when there was a brick floor that was put over where they found all these bottles. So it's actually before the Revolutionary War, or before our Declaration of Independence, I should say, coming up on 4th of July, and before George Washington was even president. Yeah. So really incredible.
So on this, it says that Martha and him were very fond of their cherries and berries, especially
In bourbon.
in bourbon.
Yep.
Enjoyed with bourbon. Where was that? That was... Anyway, there you go. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so these cherries,
Wow.
they believe, were bottled to enjoy just on their own, not to have mixed with anything, but yeah, so there you go.
Wow. There
Right?
you go, Mount Vernon.
Where we have stuff in our fridge that doesn't last a week. How is that possible? Come on, King Supers, do better. On to Pennsylvania and our grammar story.
Oh, grammar.
Drivers on the Cotton Avenue in Northwest Philadelphia noticed a new sign directing travelers to a southbound Interstate 95 had a little bit of a typo. Instead of directing them to Central Phila, it was directing them to Centertal Phila. Yeah, so Centertal.
Centertal.
So CENRTAL instead of CENTRAL.
Centertal.
They flipped around the R and the T, and I don't know if it confused the Philadelphia drivers. I've heard that there's, I think they're like, no, I don't want to go to Centertal. I need to go to Central, so I got to keep going. And they got lost and just stayed on the interstate for days and days. The sign has...
Read the small print. Not all stories are 100% accurate.
Philadelphia Department of Transportation posted, well, I mean, no, I shouldn't say it. I'm not going to get into sports. Because I have no problem with the Philadelphia Eagles. I have no problem with a lot of the Philadelphia teams outside of maybe the Bruins.
You know why I kept talking earlier? Because this is what happens, and I just sit silent and smile and nod.
Did I just say Bruins?
I think you did.
Whatever, I'm tired. Anyway, they said that they were so focused on reopening the ramp, they forgot to proofread.
That's kind of a big...
It's a big deal.
That's kind of a big deal.
I mean, they show the guys up there on the crane adjusting the spelling, and you know, one of those letters is, you know, about the size of half a man. Like they're big. They're big letters, and the
letters.
Caught.
I thought you said ladders is the size of a half a man. I was like, honey, that ladder is...
That's not a ladder, that's a crane.
I know, but like the ladder leading, like getting... I was like, why would you say ladder? That's not even... It's not a ladder. It's not a...
Now, the irony of this whole
letter
story...
is what he... Letter, not ladder.
The irony of this whole story is we are probably the last two people to mock anyone's spelling, as spell check is our best friend.
It's like... right here all the time in my heart.
No, it's right here on the phone. Babe, how do you spell I don't know. Let me just give me a...
It's really bad when we have to spell check words that our fourth grader is using
Right.
a spelling test or a vocab test. I get it when it comes to the Latin words, but the other ones we should be able to spell.
For the story I didn't bring, just go on and Google world's ugliest dog and you won't be disappointed.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
okay. Is he so ugly he's cute?
Yeah, it's one of those, yeah.
Okay.
He's adorably ugly. Like, it's... I can't help but laugh.
I gotta go. I have to Google something.
That's all we have for this For Fun Friday. Facts, better known as... Facts! What is it? Mark and Brandy Aspinall live in Colorado Elite, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Colorado Real Estate. It's a mouthful, getting it all out there on Friday. Have a fantastic, amazing weekend.
We obviously need a weekend. We're tired. Oh, and here comes the little.
She just woke up.